This is Adarsh Anand on the other side. Thank you for being present. Today we are here at the program organized by Hindustan Republican Global. Hindustan Republican Global is a global movement aimed at preservation of the heritage of the Krantikaris and the INA, along with bringing and promoting retired army personnel into public leadership opportunities inclusive of political roles. Historically, as we all know, Hindustan Republican Global, HRA, was founded by Krantikari Pandit Ram Prasad Bismil and operationalized by Sri Sachindranath Sanyal at Varanasi. So today, we are here for the talk titled Did Gandhi Undermine the Freedom Struggle? Today, we are here with us, the guest of today's program, Dr. Shushmit Kumarji, uh, who is the author of the book titled Re-Evaluating Gandhi, How He Delayed Independence and Mainstreamed the Radical Islam. This book of Dr. Shushmit Kumarji dismantles many myths regarding Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi has been long revered as India's father of the nation and considered a great freedom fighter who led India to independence. This book, a scholarly re-evaluation of Gandhi, questions the standard narrative that has been built around Gandhi. Contrary to the standard narrative, we find that Gandhi actively looked out for British interests and his actions led to the suppression of the revolutionary movements for freedom and likely delayed India's independence considerably. Today, our guest Sushmit ji will give us insight of whether Gandhi undermined the freedom struggle and if he did, how. Before handing him the platform, let me take a couple of minutes to introduce our guest. Dr. Shushmit Kumarji, who is a PhD in Engineering Science and Mechanics from Pennsylvania State University, completed his doctoral thesis in just 2.5 years without having a master's degree at the time. He later earned a master's in computer science while working in the US software sector. Before academia, he briefly served in the Indian Administrative Service. In 1995, Dr. Kumar predicted the global rise of Islamic militancy in an article later expanded into the book, The Modernization of Islam and the Creation of Multipolar World Order in 2008. From 2016 to 2018, he wrote influential articles on the economics of India, the US, China, and global economy, leading to policy changes in the Modi administration. Criticizing the dominance of US-based Indian origin economists, he compiled his economic articles into the book India is a Country, Not a Company, which came in 2018, with a second edition in Hindi and English forthcoming in 4 months. Overall, Dr. Kumar's extensive contributions span engineering, economics, and international affairs. Namaste, Shushmit Kumarji. Please enlighten us. And now, the platform is all yours.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. So, you have to share, allow me to share.
Ji, now you can.
Yeah. So, I have found something stunning. Recently, I wrote the book about Gandhiji initially in 2021. Then I found something more. Then I republished with another author in English version. And its Hindi version is published in this year, which has many more things. Oh. The book is based on British government declassified files, papers, or very reliable sources, which you will see. And those are contrary to the standard narratives. For example, we and everybody knows the Quit India movement was for independence of India, which is wrong. Gandhiji, in fact, during the Second World War, when the Second World War started, it didn't start any movement. In 1942, he started this Quit India movement. In May, he presented his own draft of Quit India movement in his own handwriting in Allahabad meeting of Congress Working Committee. And the discussion went on. After the discussion, British Raj police raided the Congress office and seized all the papers. And then on 5th August 1942, when All India AICC meeting was going on in Bombay, British Raj released all those papers. Then there was a big uproar in India because Gandhi's draft for Quit India movement had nothing to do with independence. It was to make India, instead of British colony, a Japanese colony. And I can show you the original thing. If you will write my name, you can go to my website. It is August 5th, 1942. This is a thing we are going to see there. August 5th, 1942, Indian Express. It is at the Google newspaper archive. Have about 500 newspapers from all over the world for last 100 years. And they have Indian Express also. Here you can say Indian Express, August 5th, 1942. Google newspaper it is. Browse all newspaper, it is 1942, August 5th. Congress prestige will not suffer because it was not for independence. It was to make India a colony of Japanese Empire. When British Raj released those Gandhiji's draft and how they found it, the search and seizure. Kriplani was the General Secretary of Congress when it was seized in May 26th. A search party headed by the Deputy Superintendent of Police, Allahabad, raided the Congress office after the CWC meeting and seized all the papers, including the Gandhiji's handwritten draft. And anybody can go and see that. And at the bottom, you can see Pandit Nehru states that according to your plan, that is Gandhiji's plan, after British withdrawal, India would possibly negotiate with Japan and allow her a large measure of civil control, military bases in India, and right of passage for the foreign troops. Foreign troops means Japan allies troops, that is Nazi troops and Italian troops. Whereas they were criticizing Subhash Bose for aligning with Japanese Hitler. Gandhiji never wanted independence for India. I will show that I found these two papers. In 2016, I was researching for another book. Then I found on British Declassified Archive website these two Churchill government, 6 June 1942. After the British Raj raided in May and seized those papers, they sent copy to the London. Then Churchill government, Prime Minister, they in the cabinet, they discussed about those Gandhi's draft. You can see there is increasing indication that Gandhi is abandoning his previous declared policy of refraining from embracing government and is planning to lead Congress into some widespread movement of compelling the Britons to withdraw from India. That means Gandhiji was working in collaboration with the Britain during the Second World War. He never wanted Britain to leave. It is at the British government website. It is declassified telegram from the, you can see. This was one I found. Then there was also second, in which it is said that as per Gandhiji, Japan and Hitler, Germany would win the war. That's why Britain would lose. That's why he wanted Britain to leave India, and he wanted India to be surrendered to Japan. So Quit India movement was not for independence at all. So I have these kind of evidence in my book. So let us come to the second. So Gandhiji was not given Nobel Peace Prize or the Nobel Prize because in 30s, 40s, 50s, top decision makers in the West knew that Gandhi was British collaborator, helping the British Raj in keeping the lead on the liberation movement. Once he captured nation's largest party, Congress Party, by bringing, I do not know how to get rid of it. By bringing large number of radical Khilafat movement. There was a movement called Khilafat movement in late 90s, 10s and 20s. Gandhiji used it to capture the Congress movement. Before Gandhiji took over the Khilafat movement, it was a small movement. And he used it, he traveled all over the India in the mosques and told them that using the Congress, they will pressure the Britain in order to keep the Caliph of Ottoman Empire. So that's why all the radical Muslims came to Calcutta to vote for Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement. Whereas all the Hindu leaders were against the Gandhiji. So against the fierce opposition of all the Hindu leaders. For example, there were 161 vote from the Hindu majority Madras province, and out of 161 vote, 125 were Muslims for the Gandhiji. A special Khilafat Express came from South to bring 200 Muslims to vote for Gandhiji. This was for the first time some large number of Muslims ever attended in Congress meeting. So here, if you go to my website again, for next 4 years, Congress and Khilafat meeting were held at the same place, same time, annual meeting. I downloaded 1923 meeting. It was about 35 to 38 pages long. You can see. It was Congress, Gandhi Nagar. It was the Khilafat Pandal within the Gandhi Nagar. He was a Khilafat leader, Muhammad Ali. He was president of Congress, and as he was the Congress president, as a president of Congress, as a president of Congress, he gave the talk that India should be divided into two regions, Muslim and Hindu. And in Muslim region, Muslims should be free to convert the depressed class, that is scheduled caste, into Muslims. In his presidential address, 1923 annual Congress meeting of Kokanada in the Andhra Pradesh, Maulana Muhammad Ali, one of the Ali brothers, attacked the Western concept of the root cause of imperialism and put forward a new content for the Indian nationalism, federation of religion, whereas India could be described as the United States of India. Not as United States of India, but United States of India. He suggested that country may be divided into different reserve areas, where each religion should have monopoly of proselytization. He asked Hindus either to absorb depressed class, scheduled caste immediately, or to allow Muslims to convert them to Islam. It is in this book, Kakinada. It was published in US in 1969. So as a president of Congress in 1923, at that time, Mahatma Gandhi was choosing the Congress president. He had control. He was Sonia Gandhi of the president from 1920 till his death. So this Muhammad Ali, as a president of Congress, was saying that he should be allowed, Muslims should be allowed to convert the scheduled caste into Muslims. And it is in this book. And if I'm correct, he was a Muslim, but secular. He was a socialist. It is US published, Greenwood publication, Westport, Connecticut, US. And during the 4 years of Khilafat, Congress combined movement, movement was combined, Congress, Khilafat movement, 20, 21, 23, 24. You can see Gandhiji Charkha, as well as this Islam flag. They used to have both Gandhiji's famous Charkha and Muslim flag. So for 4 years, Congress and Khilafat non-cooperation movement, and people do not know that for 4 years, actually non-cooperation movement, okay, I think it is, it is later on. Okay, let us go all over India. Use of radical Khilafatists in capturing Congress party also resulted in replacing moderate and secular leadership of Muslims in the country with radicals. So before, Gandhiji used radical Khilafatists to capture the Congress. The leadership of Muslims in India was under the seculars. So it ended up in the partition of country. I have proved in my book. It caused an exponential rise in the communal rights in India after Gandhiji suspended his non-cooperation movement in 1922. Because what happened, Khilafat movement leaders, radical movement, had joined Gandhiji because they wanted Gandhiji to pressure Britain to keep the Khilafat, Caliph of Ottoman Empire. But when Gandhiji suspended his movement, non-cooperation, they saw it as betrayal. That's why it also showed a tremendous rise, exponential rise in the communal right. I will show you later on. You need to see he should be called the father of communal rights. You can see the chart. From 1900 to 1920, there were only 16 rights, not even one right per year. And you can see the chart in 1920. And the data you can see. B.N. Pandey was a professor in London from his book, 1969. P.K. Datta, Judith F. Brown has written 3-4 books on Gandhi, and all are very famous. She was a professor and a British University. All her books on Gandhi are very famous. You can go to Amazon and see. They are bestsellers on Gandhi. R.C. Majumdar, the government of India has printed his books, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3 on the history of freedom movement in India. All three volumes are almost 600, 700 pages. Then this, so all that data, even the government of India, British Raj wrote. So this is the data here. The British Raj Commission wrote 1928. Every year since 1923 has witnessed communal riot on an extensive, in fact, on an increasing scale, which had as yet shown no sign of abating. The list, which excludes minor occurrences, records no less than 112 communal riots within last 5 years, of which 31 has occurred 1927. So after 1923, so from 1900 to 1922, only 16, not even once a year. And you can see, it is statutory commission, it is a British government commission. The commission also noted that riots were not confined to a restricted area, but almost every province was more or less affected by it. Further, the storm centers had a tendency to shift rapidly from one place to another, from larger to small towns, and then to countryside. So British government declassified papers also proved that Gandhi and Congress party had no role in the independence of India. Just within 4 months of end of Second World War, British decided to leave India due to large-scale threat of mutiny by native Indians in India due to the influence of surrendered Azad Hind Fauj. So where are these? I showed you those two declassified files. Those are 9 pages long, which I showed you. So what happened during the 1970s, 80s, British government declassified all the papers of transfer of power from 1942 to 47 into 16 volumes. Each volume is 1300 to 1600 pages long. So you can also buy at Amazon.in. So these 2 paragraphs are there in 6th volume. The post-war phase, new books by Labour government, August 1st, 45 to March 22nd, 46. So what happened actually, Subhash Chandra Bose and his Azad Hind, Subhash Chandra Bose and Azad Hind Fauj were badly defeated when they were trying to enter to the Burma. One reason was that US has already entered into war. And they had actually sent US 2 lakh army in India, which we do not read, in order to train and fight Japan. Train the Chiang Kai-shek Chinese army to fight the Japan. And they were helping the Chinese through the Assam and then China. they have built a road, difficult road, through the Assam to the Peking. And Subhash Chandra Bose was trying to enter through the same. So they bombed them also. Japanese army of Azad Hind Fauj. So they were badly defeated. But when the Japanese army surrendered, Subhash Chandra Bose army also surrendered, about 40-50%. Question is, before whom they surrendered? British army. But who were British army? Indians. Because Britain took 25 lakh Indians to fight on east and west. So there were about 15 lakhs Indians fighting in the name of Britain in the east. So when these 40-50 thousand Azad Hind Fauj surrendered, before these 15 lakh in Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and they came to know about this army, new army, Azad Hind Fauj, that how patriotically they were trying to fight and liberate. And also there was an organization called Indian Independent League of Rash Behari Bose of Gadar Party. They printed about 30-page booklet of Subhash, having the photo of Subhash Chandra Bose. His government, his army, Azad Hind government was functional for 2.5 years. And it had bank, it had own currency, coin, and it was recognized by 9 countries: Germany, Hitler Germany, Japan, Italy, and 6 other countries. So when all these 15 lakh army men, native Indian, came to know about it, so when they started coming to India in cantonment, Britain came to know that there was going to be massive mutiny all over India. So it would have killed majority of white people in India, because 1857, first war of independence, there were several massacres of whites. That's why they left. They decided to leave in January 1946, according to it, that they decided to send cabinet mission. So it was even before the February, this naval mutiny. Decision happened even before the naval mutiny, according to this book. So here you can see November 24, 45, the commander-in-chief of the Indian Army, British person, wrote, if the Indian forces as a whole cease to be reliable, the British armed forces now available are not likely to be able to control the internal situation or the protect essential communication, nor would any piecemeal reinforcement of these forces be of much avail to regain control of the situation or to restore essential communication within the country. Nothing short of an organized campaign for the reconquest of India is likely to do its best. That means if we have to keep India under control, we have to bring so much army that we are going to reconquer India. We have to fight all the entire native Indian army. And not only because the Burma, Malaya, Java, Middle East, those people also there, because there also Indian army are there, and native Java people, they will also revolt. So it will create problem. So what happened when they gave independence to India, because Indian army they were using in Middle East, in Java, Malaya, Burma, to suppress. So within 3-4 years, 5 years, 10 years, Britain had to leave them also. So Subhash Chandra Bose not only gave us the independence, he destroyed the entire British Empire. This was the November 2nd, 45 telegram. Then December 22nd, 45, if disturbance has started, Indian armed forces generally or in part has proved unreliable or actively hostile, situation is completely different. In this case, British formation would be required to land and report that could be open and be prepared to fight that way inland to restore, protect, and operate reliable communication. So I do not want to read it. So he also that Italy gave us the independence. When he came later on after giving the independence, was staying at the West Bengal Governor House. Governor asked him that what was the reason that he gave us the independence. Governor asked him, my direct question to him was, since Gandhi's Quit India movement had tapered off quite some time ago, and 1947, no such compelling question had arisen necessary to ask question, then his British crown, the principal among them being the erosion of loyalty to the British crown among the Indian Army and Navy person as a result of military activities of Subhash Chandra Bose. And when the West Bengal governor asked him about the Gandhiji influence, he said minimal. So Gandhiji's influence was minimal. In fact, Gandhiji never wanted, when he took over the Congress in 1920, none of his movement was for independence. I have 130 charts more, not chart, PowerPoint. Do you know Congress' famous non-cooperation movement was first launched on August 1st, 1920 by Khilafat Committee, Muslims, not by Congress, by radical Muslims and Gandhi presence against the British Raj. At that time, Congress party was going to consider the same in its 1920 September Calcutta meeting, in which Gandhi was able to force it on Congress party by bringing large number of Muslims from all over India. Next 4 years, both Congress and Khilafat committees had combined meeting at the same place, same time, with several Khilafatists holding position in the 1923 Congress presidency and Congress committee. Every Indian should read this book. One day, this book would replace the corrupted history book written by the court historian of Nehru Gandhi. In fact, they threw out the actual hero, and also I haven't written in this book. In this book, this New York Times, you can see, New York Times has all the draft, actual draft, August 5th, 1942. You can go to the New York Times archive and get August 5th, 1942. This is the Gandhiji's actual draft of 19 Quit India movement. Then there was discussion on it. So Indian Express didn't publish the actual draft. It had discussion that, okay, Japan will be given the base, military base, and this. So it is the actual draft. I have added the chapter in Hindi. In English also, I have added the chapter, appendix. But they have to publish the new batch. But in Hindi, In Hindi or English, this entire book is like history book. From East India Company, the पहले का भारत से. In English also it is same, but in Hindi I have added it as a this 1942 draft in 29th chapter, because it is published just right now. In English, I have added it as an appendix because it was published earlier. In English, so it is not published. It is yeah. So I have added this demolisher and the draft that Germany and Japan would win World War II and give India to Japan without a fight. Because when I published English version earlier, 6-7 months ago, I didn't have access to this draft. Later on, I found this. So I have added it, but the publisher hasn't published this batch. So if you will buy this book right now at Amazon.in or Flipkart or Amazon.com, you will not get these two chapters. But if you will buy the Hindi book, you will get it. These two chapters. This is the difference you will see. Otherwise, you will see everything. So, whatever I have discussed, majority of things are there. So I have written economics books because of my economics books. Right now, all these three positions, RBI Governor, Niti Aayog Vice Chairman, Chief of Economic Advisor. After 2018, none of these three are being held by US economists. I will not go into detail of this. You can see after 18, before 18, US advisors. After 18, none. Gandhiji was same in Africa. He used to stretcher bearer. In Hindi is Doli Wahak of the British Empire. There also. And he was same in India. But because what happened when Britain decided in January 1946 to transfer the power and send in this cabinet mission and then gave the oath to Nehru family ruled in India for 60 years. Their court historian wrote the history in their own way. So they gave all the credit to Gandhi and Nehru Gandhi family. Question is, now after 75 years, how we are going to change the history? I have written emails to top university professors also. ministers here, but I don't think they will be able to do anything. Top university professors worldwide, UCLA, Chicago, Harvard, as well as Cambridge, that you people have to now explain how in 65 years of Nehru-Gandhi family have corrupted the freedom struggle history of such a large country. And when Gandhiji was freed after the second 1942 August, he was arrested. When he announced, Congress announced the Quit India movement, he was arrested and he was lodged in a jail, which was actually a palace, Aga ka palace. You can see. It is luxurious prison in the Aga ka $100 million palace. Because he was a collaborator, British collaborator. So Britain used to treat him like a king. This Aga ka palace had 9 large rooms. It has 68 malis, you can see. The British paid 12,000 a year for Aga ka palace, which had 70 acres of ground, or 12 gardeners to tend. Its drawing room had chandeliers, hanging from ceilings, portraits of previous Aga Khans on the wall. 66 constables were there to help the jailer of guard Gandhi, his wife Kasturba, and 4 other close persons and disciples were sent there to live with them. So they used to treat him like a king. They used to send goat also, because Gandhiji used to drink goat milk. And here also it is written, you can see, whose followers in 1942, when he was released on health ground in 1944, he was arrested in August 1942, when Congress announced the Quit India movement, whose followers in 1942 proposed to yield India to Japanese without a fight. So that is the reason he was not given Nobel Prize. You can see, when India's fate was still balanced, British government was striving through Sir Stafford Cliff to bring about an agreement between Mr. Gandhi's All India government and Muslim League. At that basis, self-government mission failed. Indira Gandhi reported uncovering of the documents at Congress headquarters, proposing British withdrawal with India, opening negotiations with Japanese. Gandhi himself advocated his usual policy of non-violence, and a campaign to sabotage the British war effort in India was also discovered and were arrested. So it was not for independence at all. So now the question is how we are going to, Gandhi was the same in the Britain, and it is published by Stanford University in US and written by 2 professors from South Africa. And Gandhiji there didn't like blacks at all in South, according to that book. Throughout his stay in South Africa, Gandhiji actually supported the British Empire while showing a disdain for Africans. In 1903, he wrote that white pupils, there should be the predominating race. He also put forward that black people are troublesome, very dirty, and live like animals. So British Raj used Gandhi to keep lead on independence movement. So, and Subhash Chandra Bose's famous statement is, After Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from ICS, he went to meet Mahatma Gandhi. After the very first meeting, Subhash Chandra Bose wrote in his book that he found that Gandhiji lacked the steps that how he would bring the cherished India, that how it will get independence. And the Jayaprakash Narayan also wrote very critical of Mahatma Gandhi in his book. In 1942, Jayaprakash Narayan and his team created a lot of problem for British Raj by uprooting telegraph pole, then uprooting railway lines, or burning the railway station in Bihar and UP. But when Mahatma Gandhi came out of jail, he heavily criticized all these. And Jayaprakash Narayan was arrested and he was put in notorious Lahore Fort. There he wrote from Lahore Fort book. You can also download from the archive.com, in which he heavily criticized Mahatma Gandhi. He wrote that Mahatma Gandhi start any movement without any planning. So he is doing it from the very beginning. This will not never bring independence to India. And he has written in his book. I have a chapter on it. If you will see, in fact, if you will ask me, if I will give 90% or say 80% to Subhash Chandra Bose for independence, I will give 10% to Jayaprakash Narayan, then his associates for independence, and then 10% to freedom fighters like Chandrasekhar Azad and others. And Gandhi, negative. Here you can see. Jayaprakash Narayan has heavily criticized Gandhi, that Gandhiji is always ready to go to jail at half an hour notice. And if Gandhiji's whatever he is doing remains the same, we will be under the Britain for next 25 years. That's what you can see. He has written in the book. And whatever Gandhiji, he has written, those who would churn the ocean must be ready to drink poison with the nectar. That means Gandhiji started the movement without giving any plan. But when Jayaprakash Narayan and his Minu Masani and others created this violence, Gandhiji criticized it. So Jayaprakash Narayan said he should drink this nectar, this poison also. You can download it, this book. So he has written that if Gandhiji, whatever he is doing, if it remains the same, we will be under Britain for another 25 years after the Second World War. Because he started the movement without giving any plan. That's what he did in 1942. He has written here in his book. He didn't give any plan. He just started because he wanted to surrender to Japanese. Although he hasn't written here, that's what I have found. So now I will not blame the court historian also, because if anybody would have written correct history, any historian, he would not have found any job during the Nehru Gandhi era. Any Indian outside India would have gotten their passport cancelled. An Indian with non-Indian citizenship would not have allowed to enter India to visit loved ones. So radical mullahs I wrote. So all these, for example, I gave the 135. So Khilafat Express came to vote, and the crucial vote he won by 144 to 132 in the subject committee at the 1920. In that also, the Muslims were in majority. One remarkable thing was, till 1920, Jinnah was a secular leader. If you will read my book, he was the only Muslim who voted against the Gandhiji. He was against the Khilafat. And when Gandhiji won, he spoke against Gandhiji in length. Till 1920 September special session meeting, he used to attend every Congress meeting with Tilak. But before September, Tilak had died, so he came alone. And then he said that now he is finished with Congress, and he went to London. But later on he came, he started asking for Pakistan. You can see all Muslim members of the subject committee except Jinnah supported Congress resolution. So two Ali brothers almost on the verge of beating Jinnah in the meeting. It is, you can see. And it is in the book of that lady, British professor, this attack. And this 161 vote out of 161, it is general committee meeting of the Madras had the, right now also Madras had the Hindu majority, 2-1. But Gandhiji got 161 vote out of 161, 125 were Muslims. That's how he won. At Calcutta, Congress, Gandhi didn't sweep on the power of enthusiasm for his program. The dominating fact of the Congress was the large Muslim contingent. This was the first time Muslims came in a significant number of the Congress. In the closing speech, as the President, Lajpat Rai referred pointedly to the Muslims, adding that he was a little sorry that Gandhi, in his wisdom, should have considered it necessary and proper in a way to tag the Indian National Congress to the Central Committee. Granted the determined opposition of nationalists, Gandhi could not have captured the Congress without support of Senegal. Largest difference between Congresses of 1819 and the Special Congress 1920 was the presence of Khilafat. Central Khilafat Committee board inspired and led by Gandhi was June, September. So 3 months, July, 2 months, he toured all the mosques in India. And then in 1 year, he collected 1 crore rupee. He went everywhere and collected 1 crore rupee that he would bring Swaraj within 1 year to non-cooperation movement. And he was saying this Chetar Shankar Nair, in his book, you can also download from archive.com. He used to say, Gandhiji, that if he would not bring the Swaraj in 1 year, now only 3 months is left. If in 3 months he would not bring it, he would go take sannyas and go to Himalaya. That's what he used to say. One 73. PC Bombford, just like we have IB right now, Intelligence Bureau, he was a British person. He was the Deputy Director of Intelligence Bureau 1925. In his book, he has given the numbers, rupees in 3 lakhs. So 1 crore, 5 lakh he collected in 1 year. And he used to say, writing in Namjivan, make the encouraging announcement, if Swaraj is not obtained by December, he would either die of a broken heart or retire from public life, leaving the heedless public people of India to his resources. Were so clear pronouncement by any politician, he would definitely be where New Year dawns, Gandhi will no longer be active in politics. Navjivan was his own newspaper. So that's how he collected 1 crore rupees. Then he changed the constitution of Congress and became dictator, just like the Sonia Gandhi. From 1920 to till his death, he was dictator of Congress. Just like Sonia Gandhi, whatever he wanted, he did. There were elections only twice, both the time when the result were not according to him, he changed the results. When Subhash Chandra Bose defeated his nominee, Patabi Sitaramaiah, he forced the Subhash Chandra Bose out. Then Nehru, when he got 0 vote in 46, and Patel ji was going to become the first prime minister, he got 13 out of 16, Nehru got 0. His nominee, he had clearly said that Nehru was his nominee, he got 0. He asked Patel to withdraw. So I have these kind of, you can say from the book it is. I have a screenshot from PC Pampord.
Sushma ji, I know you have a lot to say, but
Yeah,
since we are running
I think, and also, just like we have Guru, I will just end in 2 minutes.
Ji.
Just like we have Guru right now, dozens of Guru, and they have PhDs, doctors, chelas, because we had only 5-7% literacy. And he used to go and say, I have come to conclusion that we have we can have Swaraj in Ram Raj if we will fulfill triple program, Khadi, Hindu-Muslim removal and touchability. So he became like Ram. But on the other hand, if you compare Bhagwan Ram, when his wife was kidnapped by Ravan, Bhagwan Ram assembled his Sena or army and went to fight Ravana. He didn't just sit down and go on chanting Ahimsa. So he was not a devotee of Ram at all. He did mockery. UK, Britain, if you see, India's life expectancy was 27 years. The UK, it was 63 years. When Britain came and we became the colony, at that time, our India 31% industrial potential, Europe 29%, entire total 34%. Ours was comparable to that. When they left us 31%, they are 83%. Per capita level of industrialization, 7, 8. And everything, and our contribution to the GDP of the world was 25%. There was very less, 5%. Chinese was 25%. When they left us, 5%. For Gandhiji, these didn't matter at all. Ahimsa, ahimsa, ahimsa. It was completely opposite of Ram. So death rate, you can see, half of the child born in Bengal died before reaching age of 8. In 1921, infant mortality rate in Bengal was 60. One room teenagers out of 1,000, only 828 people. Beaten Luteras, one Gandhi school. Historians have written the conduct of Gandhi as a political leader in the Khilafat movement was certainly very reprehensible and just in the context of. I showed you this. Any Besant we know, any Besant was against Gandhiji. She voted against Gandhi. You can see between 1900 to 1922, only 16 communal rights, and 72 between 23 and just 3 years. It is from B.N. Rai book, B.N. Pandey book. Macmillan, New York, this. So he should be called father of communal rights. Only 16 between 22 years. Not even one. You can see. This is I showed you which I downloaded from the archive site, those 9 pages. The whole thought and background of Gandhi's chapter was with Japan. Gandhi's feeling that Japan and Germany would win the Second World War. That's why it is famous. When the Cripps mission came, as per Gandhi, it was post-dated check drawn on a failing bank. It is very famous about the Cripps. It is in Wikipedia page of the Cripps mission also. So this is the book I showed you my website. This is from that 6th volume. So when Nehru and Patel started to preach in their speeches violence in 1945 and 46, then British government and Viceroy asked Gandhi to ask Nehru and Patel not to preach violence. So you can see the Viceroy should invite Gandhi to see him early as possible before any disorder occurred, in the hope Gandhi was pledged about non-violence. Then, because of this, Gandhiji went and asked Nehru not to preach violence in their speeches. Then Nehru rebuked Gandhiji. You can see. It is from the volume 6 of the declassified this transfer of power. A report I saw in Calcutta, even in the meeting of the Congress Working Committee, Nehru didn't hesitate to tell Gandhi at his face he was a Buddha, and that his non-violence and Khaddar doctrine were out of date. So Gandhi ji was working in collaboration of British because he had bitten. Viceroy asked Gandhi ji to convey to Nehru not to preach violence. And Gandhiji conveyed it to Nehru, but Nehru rebuked him. You can see it is in the transfer of power. Then when Nehru and Patel were preaching the violence, he was not they were not saying. Then Gandhi complained to Durga Das. He's a famous journalist. During that time, he had written book. Gandhiji complained that these people have stopped becoming yes men. हाँ में हाँ अब नहीं मिलाते हैं इन लोगों, क्योंकि इन लोगों को लगता है कि अब सत्ता मिलने वाला है. तो गांधी जी also because of it, he was not at the in Delhi. He was in Calcutta or somewhere else when Nehru was taking oath, because they were yes men. He was against him. And India never would have gotten independence. They could not have achieved independence by non-violence, because British Raj would have infiltrated their goons to create violence, leading Gandhi withdrawing his movement. So they could not have. And how they feared the Jayaprakash Narayan. When Viceroy Lingtho was departing, he first conveyed to, in the very first meeting, that he first conveyed to Wavell that they arrested the Jayaprakash Narayan. I showed you in my book. Yeah, this is a famous book. It's written by Hu Toye. He was a British army person, and he worked in Burma and deep with the surrender IA. He wrote that how INA official had influence on the native army, Indian army within the British army. He saw it resulted in political consciousness in which British servicemen had never possessed. He saw as a band of operas, Azad Hind Bose Savere, whose cabinet, an Indian soldier would have seen truth about INA as impulse, fast leaving the army. They were open, not boys to conductors. Sorry. So what I am saying, I have proof from the British books. You told. If Italy, the British Prime Minister who gave us the independence, today the national idea is expressed, not least perhaps among some of those soldiers, that is Indian soldiers, who have done such wonderful service in the Second World War. Nationalist idea means love for their own country, that is India, for the native Indians, soldiers, who have done such wonderful service in the war. So where it is there? In the 6th volume of the Transfer of Power. He wrote it to British officials within the Indian army, because British officials were angry. He wrote to them at least. So, I think that's all. I will stop here.
If you can stop the screen share.
Here. Do I need to click here? Okay. Oh, stop here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sushmat ji. And thank you for enlightening us. Let us open the doors for our audience to ask questions, if any. I can see Pankaj ji raising his hands. So, Pankaj ji, if you can please turn on your video and then ask the question.
Namaste, Susmit ji. Nice to get a whole lot of information from you. तो मेरा ये प्रश्न है कि नंबर वन, why was Gandhi not assassinated early on? It might be a stupid question, but I don't know. I'm just asking. Number two, why do we use this taxonomy of communal riots? See, for example, if there is a rape, and there are many rapes which are committed typically by men on women, they are not called a fight between two gender, male and female gender, right? तो ये जो इस्लाम का चीज है, this is a one-sided attack by the Momin on the Kufr, which are Hindu in this case. And there were different Islamic communities, जैसे खोजास थे, अहमदियास थे, शियास थे, सुन्नीस थे. So those were the communities. But in any case, given my example, we don't call rape as a fight between two genders. So this is not a fight between two communities. So these two questions, your reaction, please.
First, I didn't get the first question. Sorry.
My first question was why was इतनी मतलब स्पष्ट ये था, clarity था कि गांधी क्या कर रहे हैं. So why did we have to wait for Godse to act? I mean, my question is why was he not taken out much earlier? That is my question.
At that time, there was assassination was rare at that time. If you see, very few people were assassinated at that time. And maybe if you see, very few politicians were assassinated. And he was leader of the Congress party. And he should have taken out much earlier. If you will ask, I should not say, otherwise I will be criticized. That I am saying that he should be taken out. So I should not say, sorry. So otherwise they will say then Dr. Sushmit Kumar is saying that he should be killed. I should not say. But he was going down in 1929, but he adopted the Nehru. So Nehru went into his camp. That was the mistake. Socialist, Nehru and Bose, both were the leader of the Socialist Party. If Nehru would not have left Bose, then Gandhi would have been marginalized within the Congress. You can read in my book. Within the Congress.
So my second question was regarding the taxonomy, communal. So I gave you the. तो उस पे आपके क्या विचार हैं?
Now, what I have dealt in my book is how it is started. I haven't dealt what is going on right now. How it is started between 1900 and 1922. It was rare, very rare, and also causes. The causes were not like that. Okay, procession was going on because of before the mosque or before something else, or because of the loudspeaker or something else. Region I have written in the book. So not rape or anything in my book. So recently it is completely different. I have dealt with the numbers and the dates, not about the region.
Thank you, Sushma ji, for answering
Yeah.
the question. Actually, Rudra Kumar ji now has a question for you. Rudra Kumar Thakur ji. Rudra Kumar Thakur ji, if you can turn on your video and ask the question. जी,
नमस्कार
please.
आदर्श भाई, प्रणाम
Namaste.
समीर सर। कैन आई आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन इन हिंदी?
Yes,
जी जी
sure.
जी प्लीज प्लीज।
मेरा यह प्रश्न है कि क्या उस समय लोग इतने सबमिसिव थे? मेरा मतलब है जनता से, जनता इतनी सबमिसिव थी कि गांधी ने जैसी जैसी डिक्टेट की उन सब चीजों को लोगों ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया।
देखिए
जैसे
उस समय 95% इलिटरेसी थी। तो वही सुभाष चंद्र बोस ने लिखी है किताब। जैसे हिटलर जो है किया, मुसोलिनी ने किया इटली में, वैसे ही गांधी जी का भी शुरू में विरोध हुआ। इंटेलिजेंसिया जो है कांग्रेस विरोध किया, 1920s में विरोध किया। तो उस 20s में शुरू में उनका कांग्रेस में उतरा नहीं था, जब तक जो थे रॉय ये थे, क्या नाम था सुभाष चंद्र बोस के जो थे, ये देखिए भूल रहे हैं उनका नाम, और
राममोहन राय,
चित्तरंजन दास,
चित्तरंजन दास,
चित्तरंजन
चित्तरंजन दास
दास।
थे, और नेहरू जी के फादर थे। तो उतना नहीं चलता था गांधी जी का। लेकिन जब ये लोग मर गए तब इनका जो है 100% सोनिया गांधी का जैसा हो गया। तो जितने मूर्ख लोग थे इंडिया में, उनको लगा कि बहुत बड़े गुरु है ये, तो भगवान भेज दिए हम लोगों को
हाँ।
स्वतंत्रता दिलाने के लिए। जैसे आज ही देखिए हमारे यहाँ इतने गुरु है, अंधभक्त हो जाते हैं। वो लोग जो है सोचते हैं कि भगवान है ये। अभी भी पीएचडी वाले, डॉक्टर वाले जाते हैं उनके यहाँ, पैसा देते हैं, ये करते हैं, लाखों रुपया देते हैं। देखिए, तो उसी तरह से उस समय देखिए दिखाते हैं आपको। इसमें जो है ना, क्या सुभाष चंद्र बोस जो लिखे हैं ना, देखिए ये भी चीज लिखे हैं सुभाष चंद्र बोस कि कैसे ये किए। considered as sent by masses lead them to the freedom. एक जेल में जब बंद थे सुभाष चंद्र बोस, उसका जेलर ये कभी नहीं सोच सकता था कि जो अंग्रेज जो है जेल में रखता था गांधी जी को, कि वो कहता था कि ना ना वो पक्षी बन के उड़ जाएंगे। यही देखिए लिखे है। A large and influential section of intelligentsia was against him beginning में, but this opposition was gradually worn down. सुभाष चंद्र बोस का है। Such enthusiastic support given by the masses, consciously or unconsciously, the Mahatma fully exploited the mass psychology of people, just as Lenin did the same thing in Russia, Mussolini in Italy, and Hitler in Japan. बोल्ड हम की है ऑथर, लेकिन जो है ना, जैसे 1922 का दिसंबर का जो मीटिंग था कांग्रेस का, उसमें जिन्ना जो थे इनको केवल गांधी बोले, तो सरोजिनी नायडू चिल्ला के बोले ना ना ना, उनको महात्मा बोलिए। He was shouted down by thousands of people who insisted that he should be addressing महात्मा गांधी। वो जो है जमीन पर बैठ के सबसे जीसस क्राइस्ट की तरह लगते थे। While his sitting posture at the time of lecturing was reminiscent of Buddha.
प्रोफेट लाइक अपना उन्होंने स्ट्रक्चर एक तैयार करने का प्रयास किया।
हाँ, तैयार करने का। वो सब जगह जाते थे, कहते थे राम राज लाएंगे, हम राम राज लाएंगे। अब उल्टा काम, राम वही बताए ना हम, इसमें हम लिखे हैं 2 पैराग्राफ कि जब सीता जी का हरण करके रावण ले गया तो राम आर्मी बना के लड़ने गए। अहिंसा तो नहीं किए कि अब बैठ गए हम कि हम लड़ेंगे नहीं, अहिंसा चलाएंगे। यही देखिए, इसमें इसी में उदाहरण दिए हैं वो। In 1922, when Bose was in prison, Indian warders at the service of prison department would refuse to believe that Mahatma has been cast in prison by the British government. They would say, in all seriousness, that since Gandhiji was a Mahatma, he would assume the shape of the bird and escape from the prison any moment he liked.
सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
To make the matters worse, political issue would no longer be considered in light. उनके मैगजीन जो छपती थी ना, उनके शिष्य सब बाइबल की तरह यूज करते थे सर।
हाँ एकदम
बाइबल के सुभाष बोस लिखे हैं।
बहुत रिच लिटरेचर है आपका। आपका लिटरेचर कहाँ मिलेगा पढ़ने को? मैंने कोई पोर्टल वेबसाइट
इन पर है, ये जो है ना दिखाते हैं।
जी, thank you Rudra Kumar Thakur ji. Now Paromita Majumdar ji has a question.
वन मोर फॉर
हाँ
आदर्श,
हाँ
1 सेकेंड।
Okay.
अच्छा, एक तो साउथ अफ्रीका से भी सुनने को मिलता है कि इस तरह के लिटरेचर साउथ अफ्रीका में अब आ रहे हैं।
ना देखिए, ये सुस्मित कुमार जो amazon.in पर की जाइएगा तो ये इंग्लिश वर्जन है।
अच्छा
ये हिंदी वर्जन है।
ठीक, अमेजन से इसको परचेज कर सकते हैं।
हाँ, ये इंग्लिश वर्जन है और ये हिंदी वर्जन है। तो इंग्लिश वर्जन में 2 चैप्टर मिसिंग है, वो चूंकि हिंदी वर्जन में जो ऐड किए हैं वो नेक्स्ट बैच जब प्रिंट करेगा ना तब आएगा। बहुत
अच्छा। और आपसे संपर्क कैसे हो इसका थोड़ा सा एक बता दीजिए, कोई मेल वगैरह, मेल आईडी या कोई सोशल मीडिया?
hotmail.com।
ठीक है,
थैंक यू रुद्र
मेरा
जी।
एक सबसे और आप समाधान करिए कि साउथ अफ्रीका में इस तरह का लिटरेचर आजकल पब्लिश हो रहा है जो ये बताते हैं लोग कि अगर गांधी नहीं होते साउथ अफ्रीका में तो साउथ अफ्रीका 1935 में ही आजाद हो गया होता। यह सत्य है या फैंटेसी है उन लोगों?
हम नहीं सुने ये।
कोई बात नहीं, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you. So we have next question from Paromita Majumdar ji. Since NSC Bose, since NSC Bose had proposed the Father of Nation title to be given to Gandhi, when and how this false narrative could be changed?
In fact, it is not clear who gave him the Father of Nation. It is not sure. So, who gave? But the question is now how we are going to change this history. It is so much corrupted. So, I showed you the email I have sent to almost 13, 14 universities, South India section. So they have professors and PhD students and entire department that you have to now, you people are custodian of South Indian history. You have to now change the history of India. Entire history is corrupted. So now they have to change. I have books. Initially, I have PhD in engineering. I have did work in software. I have written books in history, this history, international affairs, economy, etc. So now you people who are in political science and history has to work hard in order to change this corrupted history.
Okay. Now next question is from Srinath Mishra ji. What led Motilal Nehru to change 180 degrees suddenly from being a nationalist to Gandhi yes man in 1920?
One thing might be, I have written in the book, partly he might be a Muslim. Second, because in United Province, there was a lot of Muslim vote, and he was a politician also. He needed Muslim vote to win, and after, because he was going to be elected in the council, he needed Muslim vote in the council to be in power. So in my book, I have narrated, he has in fact narrated that why he changed his vote at the 11th hour. Because of it, Chittaranjan Das was very, very angry, because if he would not have changed his vote, maybe Gandhiji, this non-cooperation proposal would have been defeated there. So Chittaranjan Das was very, very angry. It is there in every books which I have quoted.
Thank you. Thank
And
you,
most
Sushma.
probably because of it, Gandhiji is obliged to entire Nehru family.
Thank you. Thank you, Sushma-ji. So since we are running out of time, we have to wrap this session up. Thank you for enlightening us, and a special thanks to you, and also a big thanks to audience for patient listening. Again, we will meet with some enlightened speaker who will enlighten us. Again, a big thank to Sushma-ji, and please buy.
So, I think Promila Majumdar, did she ask any question or no?
I guess, actually, since we are running out of time, we
Oh.
need to wrap the session. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sushma-ji. Thank you, audience. Jai Hind.